Okay, so in our orange peel flask, we're getting a whole lot of condensation occurring down here, and the flask is getting very, very warm. I'm going to ask Lee to zoom in here so that you guys can see we do have a tiny bit of vapor here developing near the tip of the thermometer. And if you notice up above, our temperature is increasing. So I'm going to twist this slightly so you can see. We started off at 20 degrees Celsius, and now we're getting very close to about 35. And we're going to actually increase extremely rapidly here as the vapor comes up the distillation head. Okay. Since we are doing the rapid boil, I'm actually going to turn down the heat because we don't want to go too fast. And notice we are starting to increase again tremendously up above. So now we're close to 80, 85. And once we get to about 95 or so, we're going to find our first drop in the receiver flask. Look here, we're starting to get some into the water jacket condenser, and it looks like, okay, it's in the inner tube now. There we go, there's our first drop. Our first drop came at 94 degrees Celsius. And now to ensure that we're only getting about 2 drops a second or so, I'm going to go ahead and reduce the temperature again. And again, this is to ensure that we don't get any boil over. We want to go nice and slow with this distillation. We don't want any peels to bubble up and go through the, up into the distillation head or anything like that. All right, so we will continue on with this distillation until we reach our inner marking of about 70 milliliters of distilled liquid. Okay, students, so this is also our distillation apparatus that we're using to obtain the lemon oil. So again, we're starting to get some vapor. You should see the boiling happening down in the distillation flask. And it looks like we're starting to get some vapor come up towards the thermometer. And let's just go ahead and check that temperature. So let's get up in there. Okay, so we're still at about 20, 25 degrees Celsius or so. There's a little deviation there in my alcohol in my thermometer. But this should start to increase rapidly, just like we saw with the orange. And as you see, a little bit of condensation right there near the thermometer. And then that's our water jacket condenser, our takeoff adapter, and our receiver flask. Let's go check on what's happening with our orange oil. We have some droplets that kind of get stuck there, and that outlet where we could plug in a vacuum, it's open to the atmosphere right now because we are definitely building up pressure inside of the distillation apparatus, and so we need a vent. So that is acting as our air vent currently, so that we prevent, the whole thing from exploding. But I want to get a little closer on the solution here, and you might actually be able to see that we technically have 2 circles in there. Now I know it's hard to tell there, but if you notice, there's kind of like some oily substance with a little bit of bubble going on top. That is actually the citrus oil. So because the 2 layers are not miscible, we're actually seeing a little bit of a meniscus happening. So 2 different liquid layers in there. One is water from the steam, and the other portion there is the oil. Yes, we do have more steam happening in the distillation head. Let's take a look at that temperature. Oh yeah, we are definitely increasing. We're getting close to 35 Celsius here, so we're definitely going to see that rapid rise in temperature again. There we go. I'll show you what's happening down below. And we might actually be able to follow our first drop. And again, I'm going to turn down the heat just slightly so that we don't have an overboil. Oh, there goes our droplet. Let's see if we can chase it on down the side here. Okay, we're developing some liquid there. There we go. Let's see if we can... There it goes. Perfect. There's our first drop. And our first drop has come at a temperature of, for our lemon oil, 93 degrees Celsius. Remember, everything is in Celsius in this laboratory. So again, I'm going to go ahead and stop here. I'm going to adjust the temperature so that we will be receiving about 2 drops a second. And we'll be back to show you some product for this experiment.